Hello, everybody. Hope this screencast finds all of you well and safe and healthy. I'm going to do a little tutorial to kind of simplify converting if you need to see it a different way, and I'm also going to give you some tips and hints on how to approach these problems. So, to convert units, I want you to realize that we have to use something called a conversion factor, and all that is an equality. So I've made up some conversion factors right here, and we're going to use shapes instead of actual units like meters or liters. So we're going to use shapes instead. So I made up these conversion factors. 5 hearts is equal to 2.5 spades. 1 spade is equal to 7 clubs. 2 diamonds is equal to 6 clubs, and 4 hearts is equal to 3 clubs. Now, I want you to realize that all of the conversion factors here can be written in one of two ways. So for example, if I have 5 hearts is equal to 2.5 spades, that is a conversion factor, and that conversion factor can be written as a fraction, and you can decide how that equality is going to be written. You can write that as 5 hearts over 2.5 spades, or you can write that as 2.5 spades over 5 hearts. Now, when you're doing a conversion with the units, you have to decide, am I going to write it like this with the 5 hearts over 2.5 spades, or am I going to write it like this, 2.5 spades over 5 hearts? To determine which way you're going to write it, I want you to remember the phrase, kitty corners cancel. Say that out loud, kitty corners cancel. What does that mean? Well, first of all, if you don't know what a kitty corner means, look at the picture below. Building A is kitty corner to building B. Okay, so what kitty corner means is below and diagonal. So when we're talking about units, so for example, if I have a heart, if I'm doing my conversion and I have a heart up top, in my next step, that heart has to be at the bottom. Or if I'm using units, if I have a meter up top, that meter has to be kitty corner to the meter that was in the previous step. So kitty corners cancel means whichever unit or shape is on top will be the unit that has to be on the bottom and diagonal in the next step. You can use a multiplication sign or you can use a bridge. They both mean the same thing. So for example, you can set up your problem like this, or you could set up your problem like this. I tend to do my problems with the bridges, but there are some teachers that use the multiplication, and it's pick your poison. Whichever one works best in your brain, go ahead and use it. But I want you to realize that this means the same thing, okay? And when you solve these problems, you're always going to multiply across the top and then divide by what's on the bottom. Now, I want to do a couple problems with you just to kind of show you how this is going to work with shapes. So for example, if I have a problem that says convert 3.2 hearts to spades, you're always going to write what is given on the first line. So I am given 3.2 hearts, and I have to convert that to spades. And this is an example of a one-step problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to my equalities, and I'm going to say to myself, which one of these equalities relates hearts to spades? The only one that relates hearts to spades is this one right here. So I'm going to use this equality. Now, I have to decide, am I going to put 5 hearts on the top or bottom? And am I going to put 2.5 spades on the top or bottom? Well, remember, kitty corners cancel. So if I have hearts on the top, I know I need to put hearts on the bottom. Okay, so if I'm going to use 5 hearts as 2.5 spades, I have to write that as 2.5 spades. Sorry, I'm not an artist. Over 5 hearts. Okay, so I have to write it like this. So I'm going to write 2.5 spades over 5 hearts. Okay, I want you to realize, just like when you divide, if you have something on the top and something on the bottom, they cancel out. Whatever you're left with on the top right at that point in the problem is the unit that you are in at that moment in time. So hearts cancel out, I'm left in spades. Spades is what I want. So then you know you're done. And then all you have to do is multiply across the top and divide by what's on the bottom. So what you're going to do is you're going to go 3.2 times 2.5, hit your equal sign. You can just leave everything right in your calculator. And then go divided by 5. Enter. And your answer here is 1.6 spades. Okay? And then that's your answer. Okay? So all you're doing here is you're taking the equalities, you're deciding which way to write it, and then you're multiplying across the top and dividing by what's on the bottom. Let's do another example. So it says convert 4 diamonds to spades. So remember, whatever number they give you is the number you're going to start with. So I have to start with 4 diamonds. Now I want to convert that to spades. If I look up at my equalities, there is no equality that directly relates diamonds to spades. So this is going to be a 2-step problem. So if you look at your equalities and you're like, there's nothing that directly relates the two of them, it's going to be a multiple step problem. But I can use this equality. I could go diamonds to clubs, and then once I'm in clubs, I can use this equality and go clubs to spades. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this equality first, and then I'm going to use this equality second. Okay, so I have diamonds up top. I know that diamonds has to be kitty corner, so I'm going to use this equality. 2 diamonds is equal to 6 clubs. Again, not an artist. Excuse me. Okay, so now, if I stopped the problem at this point, because the diamonds cancel out, I would be in clubs, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for spades. So I have to take this one more step. So I'm going to use the 1 spade is equal to 7 clubs. I have clubs on the top. Remember, kitty corners cancel. So clubs has to be on the bottom. So I'm going to go 7 clubs is equal to 1 spade. Clubs cancels out. What are you left with in the upper right-hand corner? A spade, which is what they're asking for. So if all the units cancel out kitty corner, and what you want is left in the upper right-hand corner when you're done, you've done it properly. So now all we have to do is the math. Now let me explain to you, there's a couple ways that you could do this. I want you to realize you could put this in your calculator, 4 divided by 2 times 6 divided by 7, and you'll get the same answer. It doesn't matter what order you do it in, as long as you're multiplying the numbers on the top and you're dividing by the numbers at the bottom. You technically could go 4 times 6 and then write your number, and then 2 times 7 and then write your number and then divide. That's fine. I find it's easier just to leave everything in your calculator. But the thing is that when you multiply across, if you go 4 times 6, hit your equal sign, and I'm going to give you a trick of what I do. I don't know. I just think it's easier this way, and you'll always get it right. You don't have to worry about rounding wrong. But what I do in my calculator is I'll go 4 times 6. I'll hit my equal sign, and then I'll go and divide by these numbers on the bottom individually. So then I'll go divided by 2. I'll hit my equal sign, and then divided by 7 and hit my equal sign again. The answer that I get is 1.7142857. Now, unfortunately, because we're not in school together, we have limited amount of time, and we don't have time to teach you significant figures, which are the rounding rules that we use in chemistry. So what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm just going to ask you to round to 2 past the decimal. to the hundredths place. So we're going to round to right here. Now, whenever you round, remember, you look to the right, that's a 4. If it's 4 or lower, keep it as is. If it's 5 or higher, round up. So since that's a 4, that stays a 1, and we're going to round that to 1.71 spades. Okay? And then that's my final answer. So again, the way that I put this in my calculator is I went 4 times 6, I hit my enter sign, and then I divided these two on the bottom individually. So 4 times 6, hit my equal sign, divided by 2, hit my equal sign, divided by 7. Again, it does not matter what order you put these in, as long as the stuff on the top gets multiplied and as long as the stuff on the bottom gets divided, you should be good. So now let's do a real example. For a physical, you need to figure out your height in feet. You know you are 58 centimeters tall. How many feet is that? So again, whatever number is given is the number that you start with on the first line. So we're going to go 58 centimeters. That's what we're going to start with on the first line. Please hold. Dog walking outside. So my dogs are going crazy. Okay. Leo, enough. Get over here. Good boy. Okay, so we're going to go 58 centimeters, and I need to convert that to feet. I give you two equalities right here. I say 2.5 centimeters is 1 inch, and 12 inches is 1 foot. There's not an equality here that goes directly from centimeters to feet. So therefore, this is going to be a multiple step problem. So I need to use this first, go centimeters to inches first, and then I'm going to go inches to feet. So I'm going to use this equality. Now remember, you can write that equality as 2.5 centimeters over 1 inch, or 1 inch over 2.5 centimeters. Well, if I have centimeters here, remember kitty corners cancel, so I need centimeters right here. So I know I have to put the 2.5 on the bottom, and I'm going to have the 1 inch on top. Okay? Now, if I wanted to solve how many inches that was, I would be done. However, I don't want to stop at inches. I want to keep going and figure out how many feet that is. Now, I want you to realize that the centimeters cancel. Whatever's left in the top right is the number, is the unit that you're left in at that moment in time. So again, if I stopped right now, my answer would be in inches. I don't want inches. I want feet. So I have to do one more step. So I'm going to use this next equality. 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. Inches is on top. So I know that inches have to be on the bottom. And I know that 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. Okay? So inches cancel out. I'm left in feet. And then you just do your math. Again, you'll go 58. Do I really need to multiply something by 1? No, because anything multiplied by 1 is just the same answer. So I'll go 58 divided by 2.5, hit my equal sign, and then divided by 12. I think that's the easiest way. Personally, your teacher might have some other tips and hints that they use, but that's just the way that I do it. So I'll go 58 divided by 2.5, hit my equal sign, divided by 12. And my answer here is 1.9333, repeating. Okay? Again, for all intents and purposes for now, because we're crisis teaching, round to 2 past the decimal, so I need to round to that 3. Look to the right, that's a 3, so this is going to stay a 3, and my answer is going to be 1.93 feet. Okay? Now, that's pretty short. So obviously someone's not going to be that tall unless you are a toddler. So, or actually not even a toddler, a baby. So that's how you do it. Now, one thing I want to say is that I realized, and we all realize, that maybe you have a different way that you can do this. Now, the way we're teaching you, we just want to tell you that it's the process here that's important. I understand that you might have other ways that you can do this, or maybe some of you can even do it in your head. But just trust us in telling you that it's the process, it's the way that we're doing this that's important for the chemistry that's coming up. If you have any questions, please contact your teacher, and I hope that helped. So remember, kitty corners cancel, and have a great day. Okay, so